There you go.
Welcome back to the Two Alphas Talk. Today we're going to discuss what's going on in the world in the Second Amendment today, and we will be right back with you. All right, guys, how you doing? We're going to talk tonight about training and what it means to you, but we're going to start with political news and all of that stuff too.
Now, before we do that, we got to thank our sponsors.
Yeah,
And
of course.
all right, so type in saberteamtactical.com. Now, I added something new to the website in the front. If you go to this Reddit page right here, it takes you to our Rumble. What do you call it? Channel. And you guys can be able to see the channel and see all the videos and everything and review all the other good stuff. Here is the YouTube page of the Two Alpha Talk. And you can see the live shows and everything there. This takes you to that's the I'm gonna change this out and bring it to the I'm probably gonna leave this up here. And because I don't have no other way to display that stuff. And we have a Twitter page. All right. And then we got a Facebook page. And that's the business page, is the Facebook, Saber Team Tactical LLC. You can contact us on any of these pages and we'll get to you guys. But what you guys are looking for the most, just go ahead and click on this top tab right here. It says classes.
Damn technology, bro. Hit on that where it says classes, and you'll see everything that we have offering. We're still in the process. We're revamping the website, but our main one, our mainstay, is the private one-on-one firearms training. That's where we will get with you. We have an assessment that we'll put you through and figure out where you start and where you should start with us anyway. And from there, we'll go ahead and break it on down and give you a lesson plan in reference to your shooting abilities to get you up to speed. So if you're a beginner, we start off with the basics. And when you get the fundamentals down packed, we start moving into reloading on the move. We were talking about use of cover, self-defense issues. And the biggest thing of all is that we make sure that the things that you learn and that you can do are defensible in court. That's the key.
Right. And while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of the classes coming up so you guys get your money ready and get your dates scheduled. August 12th, we have a concealed carry class, concealed carry medical class. That's just with your pistol, and you would draw, shoot, and actually have to do some triage out on the range. But we also going to teach you guys how to do triage with tourniquets and blood stoppers. That's going to be artery wounds, sucking chest wounds, and head wounds, and arm wounds. We have an excellent class that Al teaches, a shotgun self-defense class, pending dates. We want to redo that class. So if you guys just recently bought some shotguns and stuff, go ahead and get in touch with Al and sign up. And if you have shotguns and have personal classes, now any of these classes that are pending, like the basic firearms training for self-defense, the semi-automatic self-defense, those dates are pending. You can still sign up and put a class date in there and contact Al himself, and he'll go ahead and set up something for you.
And also groups. If you see a class that you want that we have a title for, you can get your own group of people from 5 up to 10 people and just reach out, and we will provide that training just for your folks, whether it's family, group of friends, people at work, anything.
Right. And contact us not by signing up through the classes here, but go to the contact sheet on the back and sign up. Full name, phone number, email, put a message in there, and hit I'm not a robot and hit send, and it'll get to myself, and the phone number is on here, and I will get this to the lead instructor, and he'll get out there and take care of you guys in the class. And we're real convenient about how we do it. That's like I said, it's churches, schools, Offices. We assess your area. Like if you want to do medical triage and stuff for active shooters, we can also set that up and come in and look around. Best place for you guys to fight, defense, medical kits. We also can provide those for a fee, for a cost, and we can also train your guys on medical procedures and how to take care of yourselves in that type of situation.
Right.
So that's a mouthful.
It was a good one.
Yeah, and so we got the videos in the back, few of them, not many. And if you guys want to read about us, you can go ahead and read about the company, read about all the instructors, and go from there. And you decide. Don't let the price scare you. Pricing and good training, good instructors come with it. If you want to have the best, you got to pay for the best. So don't let that shake you up. So another thing I want to talk about. We're on. We double check. We're on Rumble, and we're on Twitch, and we're on YouTube tonight. So I need you guys to like and share this program, because YouTube has really been putting a damper on us, and what they've been doing is taking our likes away off the show, and so it's making the show look like it's really sucking. And but Rumble, we have over 526 to 27 people on Rumble that's following us, and we're in the thousands on some of the videos. It should be the same way on YouTube. YouTube is being a real bear and going against anybody that has anything to do with firearms or guns. So I do advise you guys to follow us on Rumble, and I'm going to post a link to the live stream in the chat, so you guys can follow us over there if you do have an account, or you can watch both, whatever you want to do, and
free,
and it's all free, and you can go from there. And so here's that goes to all the platforms. So also too, let's see what else. We're also, like I said, we're on Twitch too, but I really don't care about the Twitch people. So you guys can do what you want, do what you want to do.
We're not playing games yet.
Yeah, we're just sitting here. We're just doing it because we can. So we was gonna have a guest tonight, and everything kind of fell through the last minute, and kind of sucks.
But we're gonna have him on again.
Yeah, we're gonna have him on again.
Attention.
Next weekend, and we're going to look at more guests coming soon, and we're working on some stuff. What you got, Al? WK, thank you for stopping by. Omar, thank you for stopping by. And the other guy, you will get banned.
I don't know what the hell that's all about.
Yeah, always got an idiot everywhere,
Yeah. Where it come from? See, this is what happens when you open up Twitch. Look at that. That's a Twitcher. Yeah. Is that what you call them, a Twitcher?
I guess that's what you call them. I don't know what to call them, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, but we had a tragedy just recently, at a university in the United States again. And this leads us back to not necessarily the implement, but the person. I didn't find much yet on this individual, but it's a nut job. And that's what the problem is the nutty. And, one of the things that I hear, because I don't try to just look at one source and just hear myself bouncing off the wall. I like to hear other people's opinion. One of the opinions that I'm getting is, the accessibility to firearms. And I understand where people come from that. But you know what? That dude could have did the same thing with a car. He could have did the same thing with a baseball bat. Maybe not as many, but it's somebody who wants to hurt somebody for no damn reason whatsoever, and they always target soft areas, places that are not hardened. And one of the things that I would say, where were the police?
Yeah, where were the police? I don't know much about the case. I haven't been really keeping up, to be honest with you, because I've told you guys what they're going to do, and they're going to come up with a mass shootings, and sure enough, right after what president gets on the horn and started mouthing, saying he wants full gun control in the United States. Next thing you have is couple of mass shootings, and now, and because the FBI reclassified mass shootings as three or more people, and what's considered to be four. But the last shooter shot at the what was it, Michigan, right?
Michigan,
Yeah, he shot
Michigan
three
State.
people. Michigan State. He shot three people and shot himself. So usually they don't count the shooter as one of the victims, but this
Right.
time they counted the shooter as one of the victims. Then they said that's a mass shooting because technically it didn't fall in a mass shooting at all. So
Hmm.
it's then once the next thing they do, they go ahead and push for gun control again. And everybody know we got this brace ruling that's lingering over everybody's heads. And so it's like, okay, he had a revolver. So it's like, what does that has to do with gun control? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Hmm.
Doesn't make any sense. So um, we, it's the most insane thing they ever seen. And then you have like we have a lot of gun groups out here really not even paying attention. I don't know. I see a lot of these guys still on the Instagram, Facebook, um, Twitter, and but these guys, they just acting like nothing's going on right now. They just constantly just continue to going on with their day and not saying a word, not trying to put out any information, especially a lot of competition shooters. Competition shooters are the worst. Now, there's a few of them I know who are really advocates on guns, and but a lot of these guys, man, they just only thing you do is see them are just posting videos of they're shooting all the time. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? And it's
Hmm.
not making any sense. It's like, do you guys realize your shooting ability? They're trying to take it away. Why you guys are not trying to make your viewers understand that and try to support them?
Right.
You
And
know?
also, the same note that you're saying, a lot of these guys, that's where they make, they make a living from that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
make a living from it, so they're not good. But it's a lot of gun shops. Like we have some gun shops here in our state. We have Adventure Outdoors. We have Sharpshooters. We
Hmm.
have Georgia Fireline. I mean, those guys have spoke out against what's going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Again,
so,
those are people who make a living from this too.
yeah, but that's the industry.
Same with the vault. The guy from the vault
Yeah,
was like that, Matt.
right, right. Matt with the vault, he's also
Hmm.
spoke out against it, and but they do. There are under the thumbs of the ATF, and the ATF is bringing hellfire on them. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Right.
And what we did find out with remember last week I talked about if we have a certain range that's trying to make people sign a Form 1 and for the buying an AR pistol. And the reason that they're probably doing it because they probably got caught by the ATF doing something illegal.
Hmm.
And the ATF is putting pressure on them now, making them trying to force them to go ahead and all the people who are going to buy pistols, fill out a Form 1 so they can get this registration going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they're
Hmm.
probably not getting the people that they think. Also, too, I heard on the grapevine that the ATF ran around to a lot of the gun stores in the state of Georgia, disguised disguised
Customers.
uh, as customers and asking for block switches. They are also asking for how to buy a machine gun. Could they buy one on over the counter? They also tried to do straw purchases, and these guys was mic'd up, wired up, and going from gun store to get a violation so they can shut them down.
Right.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. And that's what we consider
Entrapment.
professional law enforcement in this day and age.
Hmm.
You maybe 20 years ago they would call that entrapment, but nowadays that's tactics. That's a way of doing things.
Hmm. Yeah,
So on that, just to recap on that shooting incident, there were 3 dead, 3 killed, and
and the
then
shooter.
and he was 4.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so,
So I'm looking at one piece right now, and there were 3 young people that were killed, and then he killed himself.
so
Count.
they're actually counting the
No, that's 4, but they don't. I'm looking at this one. There was 3 people, students that had nothing to do with him, and
right. But
apparently he was disgruntled about something at his job.
yeah, he did. Oh, look at that. Let's see if it works. No, I don't see it. We'll try it. Let me try it. We got a special guest we're trying to bring in. Hold on. Let me see if I can get him in. No, it's
No,
not coming in.
it's not working.
No. What kind of phone he got? You know what I'm saying? So, we can't get him in.
Right.
He's tried several times trying to come in, and we just got to.
Yeah, and it may just be a remote location or some technical difficulties.
Oh, hold on. Nope. No, it's not working. Hey, tell him to take his Wi-Fi off his phone and go direct with phone. Maybe that's it. Try it that way. Yeah, because his video not coming in. So, like I said, they counted the shooter as one victim, and they're not supposed to do that with the FBI statistic, but tried to tell the news media that.
Well,
And,
this piece had it. There's 3, and I mean, I don't want to.
there's only 3, so it wouldn't have fallen under mass shootings.
There were 3 dead, and
Right. It's supposed to be 4.
5
Supposed to be,
5
supposed to
injured.
be, yeah, it's supposed to be
5 people shot. Total of 8
So-
people shot, and then Nut
Right.
Job killed himself with 10.
We still can't get him. Hey Al, give him this number, have him call in. And hold on. Let me set up my phone. I'm gonna have him call in, and we
Okay.
do it that way. And
That works.
hey, stand by, everybody. Go ahead and entertain him, Al. While I do all this.
Yada da 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 da.
He's tap dancing. See him tap dancing?
He said his internet keep going in and out.
Hey, all right. Tell him I want him to call in. And I'm gonna give you this number right here, Al. Hey, look in the screen.
Gotcha.
And let me get my phone set up. And what do you think?
He said Naga's blocking his signal.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Let me test my phone and make sure it's working before we do all that. Sorry about this, guys. I should have did this earlier, but I wasn't planning on any phone calls coming through, and we didn't know how persistent this guy was going to be. And
Well, he's persistent.
He's very, very persistent because he got some stuff to get off his chest, and we're gonna let him go
And
ahead.
the problem is a lot of people don't like him, but he says that when I research the things that he says, it's like, wow, you put
Yeah, a
that
lot of
mirror in
people
front
don't
of
like him. I
somebody.
know
Yeah, because
of
nobody
you
wants
guys
a
in the-
mirror.
Some of you
know?
guys in the channel are gonna have some issues with him too, and
That's okay.
but that's okay. And
Hell, for wait till you come on. I'd estimate about 7-8 years. I had issues with him. But I guess with maturity and starting to see each other a little bit more, and then you say, you know what, yeah, okay, you realize. And if you can't adjust in times, then you're stuck in the mud. That's it.
did you give him the number?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and take this down, and because we want to start we want to talk about some real controversial stuff that's going on, and
You said he got the voicemail.
you got the voicemail.
Yep.
Hold on. Tell him. Hold on. I'm still trying to get it connected. I had to turn my system on. All right. Tell him try now. And there's a lot of stuff that's going. Yeah, I see the voicemail. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the background that you guys are not paying attention to.
Yeah.
And
A lot of times people take things for face value because
Samuel A.
there you go.
There we go.
Press 1 to send a
All right, we got you, my man. What's up, Sam?
What's going on?
Hey,
How
man.
you doing, bro?
I don't know, man. I think there must be some sunspots or something going on. My internet connection is going in and out. I haven't had any issues with all day. This is weird.
It is
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
Yep. There are somebody's when they know you're trying to get in and say some stuff, they
Right,
they're stopping
right,
you. Yeah. Yeah.
right.
All right, everybody. Who we have on the phone right now is Sam Hayes here in Georgia. I know a lot of you guys know him, a lot of you guys hate him, but I've been watching him for a while. Al knows him, and I never actually met you in person, Al, but I know I
Sam.
watch you. I mean, Sam, but I know I watch you. Thank you, Al. But I know I watch you plenty of times on TV and read a lot of your articles and all kinds of other stuff. And me and Al had extensive conversations about you. So
No, I'm sitting here listening to this guy, and I'm like, damn, do I like me? What the fuck?
Yeah, but like I was just telling for a few minutes ago, it took about 8 years before me and you were able to see eye to eye, and that's not because height differences neither. And the thing was, we were on two different
I'm
sides.
6'1", so that might have a little bit to do with it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, but it's like when people say the same things, and then all of a sudden you hear yourself, you don't really listen to the other person. And one day when you listen, you go, well, dude, makes a lot of sense. And what started with me was the piece you did for oh man, what's my man? It was a Kamal. Is that his name?
Oh yeah. United States of America.
Right. When I watched that, and I'm like, yo, this dude know what he's talking about. But I knew you always knew what you were talking about from Facebook when we had our differences there. And it was like, yo, man, it was like this. And I was telling people to stop talking and let him finish. And then you looked at me and was like, you shut up too.
Oh my God. You should have.
My thing is this. I've always had a strong personality. I make no apologies about speaking my truth. I put a lot of time and energy into developing my skill sets, my craft, my knowledge. I'm one of these dudes that, like, when we're talking about a self-defense case or some shit like that, I don't go by the internet rhetoric. I'll actually dig up the court transcript and read the entire court transcript. I'm one of those nerds, like I'm the nerd that can tell you that the Biggie Smalls autopsy report says that the 9mm bullet went through the door, hit him in the pelvis, and moved diagonally across his chest and punctured a hole in his heart, and that's how he died. Who the fuck else knows that, and why? Like, why would I even commit that kind of shit to knowledge?
Right.
But when I'm talking to people about things and I say things, I have this thing where I'm not going to say some shit unless I know that I'm 100% right and can back it up and send you to a source and cite the source.
Right.
But you have people in our industry, in the gun industry, that are so emotional and they're so, like, they handle emotions like women, and they get all invested in their egos. And here I come telling them, well, yeah, fuck the ego, you're wrong.
Right.
And then that just sets everybody off and nobody wants to listen. And so as I get older, I'm trying to temper that a little bit, mostly just because I just really get tired of hearing people whine. So I'm just like, okay, well, since they're not going to stop whining, maybe I need to do my part to not make them whine.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it makes sense. But
you're going to get the kinder, gentler Sam Hayes tonight.
Hey man, that guy right there is still a wealth of knowledge, and the thing is, no matter what, I mean, I know people who are diametrically opposed to you, but when we start talking and I break it down and say you can't have challenged that dude when it comes to the law, they all agree. They all agree. I said when it comes to certain things, you might be right. He don't do it this way, or you do. There's multiple ways to skin a cat, right? But when it comes down to certain things, when it comes to the court and defending yourself for having used lethal force, come on, man. And not many people are going to challenge that. And the people who are going to challenge it all went to 4 more years of school. They're all lawyers. They're the only people that I know that have one step above you, bro.
And let me say this. Let me just kind of touch on that, because I think a lot of people look at me as being a know-it-all when it comes to that kind of shit. They don't realize that knowledge comes from very real experience. All right. So I've been arrested 7 times for felony aggravated assault for putting hands on people.
Mm-hmm.
I've only had to hire an attorney 1 time. And each one of those times, in at least 3 of those cases, the judge asked me where I went to law school.
Right.
I'm standing in front of a judge defending myself, and the judge is asking me where I went to law school. And I joke with this shit. I'm on record in court as saying, Your Honor, I've never been to law school. I'm not a lawyer. I just play one on Instagram or I play one on Facebook. You know,
Right.
I'll say crazy shit like that in court, but then the charges get dismissed. You know,
Mm-hmm.
in addition to that, my experience in the security industry, my experience as a bounty hunter, my experience as a private investigator, I've been in court dozens and dozens and dozens of times. And I've had to do research to be able to back up the shit that I was saying when I'm sitting in front of a judge and sitting in front of a prosecutor and sitting in front of a jury, and everything that's coming out of my mouth has to be spot on.
Right.
So when I'm talking to people about this shit, I'm talking to them about stuff that I've lived.
Mm-hmm.
I've been involved in 2 shootings. I've never spent a day in jail or even seen handcuffs in either situation.
Right.
And it's because I knew how to articulate why I did what I did when I did it.
Right.
You know,
That's
so
key.
you know, so people want to challenge it, and I'm like, yo, argue with your mom. Don't argue with me because I've lived this thing. Like,
Right.
I'm only
Mhm.
telling you what I know to be true.
Right.
You know,
That's fair.
But I
That's
said-
fair.
So,
you know, and because I say it with such passion and because I cuss and shit like that, people are like, oh, fuck this guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's an asshole. Yeah, I might be an asshole, but I'm not wrong.
Right. There you go. There you go.
so what's the biggest thing for me and Al we've been running into is these everybody say we talk too white, and and especially in the black community, you know what I'm saying? We've been seeing over the years that now you got all these new gun folks out here, and you got tons of new instructors taking their courses from the correspondent courses, and every single one of them is thinking they're the best thing since sliced bread. And
Right.
and it's really a joke because none of them have the experience of the years, and then they want to argue with somebody who has experience and done stuff in real life, and they're trying to say you're wrong.
Right. And they're basing it off of the number of followers that they have on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You sure are.
You know,
In many cases, you're right.
you know,
Absolutely.
after Instagram dumped my last page, I've just kind of been on a like fuck Instagram type thing. And I haven't, you know, you look at my page now, I got 2 posts up there. I probably got like 16 people following me or some shit like that.
Right.
So these new guys will look at that and be like, oh, you don't know shit. Who are you? You've only got 16 followers.
Mm-hmm. And that's sad.
Google me.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, motherfucker, Google me.
Yep.
And then
Look.
once they Google me, and they see the television appearances, they see the television appearances dating back to 2004. You know, they see the articles, they see all of this other shit. Then they in my DM to my, hey brother, you know, I'm just saying that, yo, eat a dick. Like you should have did all of that before you came to me with all of this bullshit.
Right.
You know, and it's crazy because most of the people that don't like me, particularly instructors, I can show you screenshots of damn near every single one of them where I went to them first and said, yo, brother, one black instructor to another. I've been out here for a little while. Let me share some of my experience with you. And I get they ass to kiss. So now when I get they ass to kiss and then I see them put some fuck shit on their page, I'm calling you out on it because I gave
Right.
you an opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to correct all of this. I gave you an opportunity to use me as a resource because I'm not holding this shit at my chest. I want to give it to as many people that'll listen to it because I've been teaching since 1991. I've been a fucking firearms instructor since 1991. I see shit. You know, and I came up during the time when there were no other black firearms instructors that I could call and say, hey, how do you do this? Or how do you do that? Or can I train with you? Can I mentor? You know, can you mentor me? I didn't have that.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
so I had to spend my money to go train with these dudes and figure out what worked, what didn't work, what was regurgitated dogma. You know, I will tell you this. when I was looking to get faster, there's a very popular Korean firearms instructor in Atlanta who is hands down one of the fastest people I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not gonna say his name because I respect him, but I asked this dude, "Yo, how do I shoot faster?" This motherfucker said to me, "Well, you just have to see faster." What the fuck does that mean? What do you mean I have to see faster? So I had to break it down and learn and teach myself how to get a sub 1 second draw from concealment to first shot. You know?
Right.
So now, having had to actually do that and fix it myself, I can now take that same methodology that I use to make me better and teach it to my clients. You know? And
Bro, definitely.
They haven't put in that kind of work.
Mm-hmm. That's definite. That is a definite positive plus, because that is essentially where I stand, and I totally agree. It's like when you hit the bottom and you push yourself off the ground and get back up, you then learn all that you need to know to help somebody else. Because when you get in and you fly right off the top, you don't know what it's like to struggle. You don't know what it's like to be on the edge and somebody's judging you and you keep shooting the same damn thing over again, and they're like, nope, that's not an 80. Nope, that's not an 80. And I've been there and I've seen it. And it'll never happen again, because I know what I needed to do to progress. And I had good mentors. That's the key, what you said. Offering your mentorship and then being refused, what should you do? You close the door. The mentors that I had, not one of them, this is 1986, bro. Not one of them looked like me. My first 3 mentors did not look like me. And why they helped me, I have no idea. No idea. I didn't know them. I was in a strange, I had moved. I was away from it. They helped me. And I mean, to the point where not only to get me up to par, just to, as police officer, just to be qualified, but to be trained, because to continue working after the academy, after work, after things that were required. These are things that just, I wanted to be better. I never wanted to be in that situation again.
Right.
And that's
when I first got into the firearms industry and decided to, try to make this a full-time business and do the whole social media thing and all of that, was probably back around 2008. And I looked at the landscape of what was out there. Basically, it looked the same way as it did when I was in the security industry. It was a bunch of old white dudes who were retired cops and military and all this other shit that, they call themselves alpha males, but they didn't like to be challenged. As soon as somebody who came into the fold and challenged them, you would see that whole alpha persona would fall apart, and you could see the data in them because they would raise their skirts and then show you their ass.
Right.
And when I tried to fit in, I tried to say, you know what, I don't have what they have. Even though I am prior service military, I didn't do anything tactical and shit. Real quick story on that. I went in on a die-fair contract for SEALs. I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. But when I got there, I quickly realized that I grossly overestimated my swimming ability. I was like, yo, you got no fucking business being here. So that was like the biggest washout of my life.
Right.
But it was an extremely valuable lesson, about that's when I discovered the Dunning-Kruger effect. Like, okay, you thought you was ready for this shit, but you wasn't ready for this. Go sit your ass down, and that was a learning lesson for me. But, when I came in 2008, I tried to fit in. And that's something that I've never been accustomed to doing because I've always walked my own path.
Gotcha.
And when I saw it wasn't working because I wasn't a part of the good old boy network, I was like, yo, fuck these guys. I'm going to keep doing it how I do it. I'm going to walk my path. And, and I know that there are a lot of people out here who don't like it. I know that. I just don't care, because as long as I live my truth and I speak my truth, and I know that my methodology is sincere when it comes to delivering practical, relevant information to our people, that's all I give a shit about.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let me ask you a question. So with that last statement that you made, when you say our people, how do you continue to focus on our people when you're pulling teeth and you're not a dentist?
Or you don't have a big booty and breast.
very easily, I've adopted this 5 mentality. there's this pervasive mindset in the black community that we should all unify. We should all be one. That's bullshit. African people have never been this monolithic society where they all got together and all operated unified as one. If you look back to our history, there's documented evidence and proof of tribe on tribe warfare where the captured slaves were sold to white people. So this whole idea that we should unify is some bullshit because quite honestly, there's motherfuckers out here that I don't want to be unified in our community, you know? So the way that I handle it is I put the information out there the way that I'm going to put it out there. The people who are going to gravitate to it, that's my tribe. If you're not a part of my tribe, I don't give a shit what you say.
Gotcha.
Outside of that, you know, you'll let me know if you want to be a part of my tribe. You know, there are actually a handful of black instructors out here that have accepted my offer for mentorship, and I keep it close. I don't, you know, put their names and stuff out there because of them, I'm so hated. I don't want to affect their reputation.
Right.
You know, but you know, the people who embrace what I say, the people who respect my experience and my knowledge, that's my tribe.
Right.
If you're not a part of my tribe, what you say don't matter.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense because I see that a lot. I see, you know, even comments that I see from you on social media, like coming behind something, just looking at a post, and I see you make a comment on something, and I see people come at you that have nothing to do with guns. I've seen some comments on stuff and it's like he's not wrong, and it's like just snatch at him for what? Well, what's the purpose of that?
Right. And you know, and I used to joust with these dudes back and forth, and it got boring to me, honestly, because none of them was really smart enough to even be give me a good back and forth and shit. And I just realized, like, yo, you know, Jay-Z said, from a distance, you can't. You see two fools arguing from a distance, you can't tell who's who.
Right.
You know, so after a while, I was like, you know what? I don't want to be one of the people that people are looking at and they think that he's a fool because I'm going back and forth with this knucklehead.
Right.
You know, so I just told Al the other day I got a 3 response limit.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, you did. Yeah, and that's the mature Sam. That's the mature Sam because at one point you was Machine Gun Kelly, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, I was 3-4 days deep in a Facebook argument. Wake up the next day, look at the comments. Oh, this motherfucker's still talking. Okay, let's go. You know.
Well, and that also brings me to, you know, when you're saying to keep it going. Think about the times where we currently where we have instructors who are teaching and promoting stuff that you and I and everybody that's watching this that has any sense knows that'll get you caught up and put in jail. And a lot of times when these guys go unabated, nobody says anything to them. And they'll delete your comment so that the next day nobody knows that you even say, hey man, that's gonna get somebody in trouble. You know, pay attention. You know, you can't point a firearm at somebody that didn't threaten you just because you're scared or just because you don't like what they said. That's not how this works. But yet you see it in a lot of the training, especially out of Texas.
Right. Right.
And you know, I as you said earlier about not naming, you know, your folks. I don't really like to give the power or energy to the clowns, mostly coming out of Texas. Louisiana got a little bit of them too. But I look at this stuff and I cringe, and it's like our folks would run at them and they're like, "Oh, this is great, and it's like, are you kidding me? Like these dudes are clowns.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you, you know, because again, I don't bite my tongue. You know, for a long time, Body by O Tactical was in my brain, one of the worst fucking things that ever happened to the firearms community. And then behind him came Tactical Carl. Mm-hmm. And I will tell you that O and I, over the years, have kind of squashed our beef. But I will tell you that the beef between me and O and the fuck shit that he was putting out there was mostly motivated by Philip Smith of NAGA.
See?
I just like Philip literally told O when he first picked O up as the national whatever the fuck he was for NAGA, don't talk to Sam Hayes.
Wow.
Sam Hayes is bad business. Don't talk to him. So when me and
I
O
heard that on
finally,
that audio tape of you two. I just thought
yeah,
about it.
we
Yeah.
sat down and we finally
Mhm.
talked about it. I said, "Yo, honestly, I can't even. I accept your apology, but I do it with a grain of salt because as a man, how the fuck do you let another man tell you not to communicate with this man?
Right.
If Philip would have said some shit like that to me, I'd have been like, okay, yeah, Philip, you know what, you right, you the boss. And then I'd have called him and been like, yo, why the fuck Philip telling me not to talk to you, bro? What's
Right.
going on between y'all? What's the real story?
Mhm.
And then I'm gonna make my decision based on what I know of,
Right.
you know. And that's where O fucked up. And you know, like a lot of instructors, he kind of overemphasized his background, his ability. You know, you can look at certain people and tell where they come from. You look at his shooting stance and how he teaches people how to hold a gun. He's got some experience with corrections. We all know that if you train corrections is about 15 to 18 years behind on current best practices in terms of training.
Mhm.
So you can see this shit.
Right.
You know, you can see from the way a person shoots. Oh, he used to be a cop. He used to be a corrections officer.
Mhm.
He was in the military, probably Army. This guy was in the military, probably Marine. When you've been doing this shit for a while, you can notice that.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I think, you know, Naga, O, Tactical Carl, fucking Pig, those were some of the worst. I would say that that's my top 4 out of 5 worst things that happened to the Black 2A community in the last 10 years.
Mhm.
You know? Oh, and that scumbag Maj Toure. Those are the 5 worst things that happened to the black gun community
Mhm.
in the last 5 years.
Okay,
And-
so you put it out there. Tell us why. Tell us why. We see it too, and you know some of them. I try to give them a little bit of credit for some of the positive things they could do. Like the last guy you said, I said, okay, he went around to different towns and hoods and you know kind of got people to start to realize, you know what. I have the right to carry, and I'm not a felon. And he got mindsets to change, right? All the stuff that he went through with the actor guy, I forgot his name, but the actor guy, you know, okay, yeah, it looks like, you know, he's back to his old tricks and all that. All right, cool. And this is years ago, but it's still relevant today because it's still occurring. After that, a lot of these people, like I watched O recently, and I've seen him make a progress from the time he first started with the skateboard stance and all that stuff. I have seen him, but yet, guess what? I also seen a video of him training with a guy that didn't look like him and had more knowledge than him.
Right, and that's something he said he'll never do.
And he was out there and he had to get the knowledge. And then what happened was his style changed, and he looked a lot better. He looked a lot. I've never taken a class from him, so I can't say what he's actually saying or what he's doing because these little snippets that we see on.
He's kind of disappeared off the internet, so we really don't see him.
Well,
he's still out there.
I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you what happened with O because he and I actually had this conversation maybe about a year or so ago. O finally realized that all of the people that he held in high regard as black gun instructors were full of shit. You know, Philip Smith kicked O out of NAGA because he told O that O sounded too black.
Wow.
He told O that him and Tig sounded too black, and he needed people that could talk to the white people on their level. Wow. They were too black, they were too Afrocentric, all that kind of shit. Wow. So, you know, after a while, O started to see that the industry, the Black 2A game, was a bunch of bullshit. That was, I think at his core, O has always wanted to do good, but he just got aligned with the wrong people to start off with.
He got caught up.
And it got to the point to where he started to see that this industry eats his own. And he wasn't getting the respect that he really felt like he deserved. So he backed off for a little while.
Right.
He backed off for a little while. And I think when he backed off, he realized there's really not a whole lot of people in the Black 2A community that are going to give you the quality of teaching and shit that you're going to get from your Craig Douglases, from your Tom Givens, from your Greg Elephant. We don't have those guys yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you're a black instructor and you really trying to get to that level, you gotta go to them.
Yeah.
You gotta go to them.
Because the same guy,
they got it.
The same guy that trained O was the same guy that trained what's that lawyer? Lenore. He was the same guy. It was that same range out there in Texas.
You talking about
Colin Noir.
Yeah, Colin Lenore. Yeah.
Noir.
no,
N-O-I.
you talking about Buck. You talking about that dude Buck?
Yeah,
was a
Buck.
Marine?
Yeah, Buck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who trained him. That's who trained him.
And
Yeah.
you know, Buck don't fuck with nobody.
Right.
Right.
Buck is like his own island.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yep.
you don't never see him in no whole bunch of shit. He sit out there, he handle his business, and he keeps it moving. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I think NAGA was a good idea in concept, and where I fall apart, I got some personal shit with Philip because he lied on me. He lied on me and about me on a number of occasions to create. First, he tried to build the name of NAGA off of association with my name. He was going around telling people. So when NAGA first started, I was his guest speaker for the first 4 months because he didn't know anybody else. And everybody that he would try to call, like he had some cop that was going to come, some sick that was a cop that was going to come and talk about the legalities of using force. And he had her scheduled and everything, and she was supposed to show up that Saturday. And he called her Thursday to confirm, and she was like, "Well, yeah, I didn't get my money yet." He was like, "What money?" He was like, "Oh, I charged $500. I charged $500 for speaking engagement."
Oh man.
He was like, "We don't have $500." So what did he do? He called Sam Hayes again. "Hey Sam, can you come back again this month?"
Right.
All right, Philip, I'll come back. So after about the fourth time, I said, "Philip, why don't you let me help you put this shit together and build it and start to help you do some stuff together?" You know, he was like, yeah, because I want to go to the outdoor range. So he wanted to go to South River Gun Club. I was already a member. I said, all right, let me handle it. Because as you know, you go to South River, you take a guest out there. At the time, it was only $30 per person.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He called himself trying to go behind my back because I told him the name of the place and contacted Bill directly. Bill was like, yeah, you can bring your gun club out there, but I need $3,000 up front.
Yeah, if you don't have 500, you definitely don't have 3,000.
Right. I'm like you dumbass. Had you just done what I said, we could have had as many people as we wanted to out there, had as many days as we wanted for $30 per person.
Right.
And everybody paid their own range, you know. So then he started telling people that I was his national training director, but he had to fire me because I was stealing clients and money from him. And money. He wasn't even collecting money yet.
Wow.
I was never been their national training director. I've never had any connection to them at all, other than being a guest speaker. But this is what he was telling people, and I know that he was doing it because I had 6 different people tell me this shit, and none of them knew each other.
Wow. Yeah.
It wasn't like they all got together and it was like, "Hey, let's lie to Sam." No, none of these people even fucking knew each other.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, why are you trying to build a name off of association with me, and then you see that I'm not willing to like defraud people with the whole "we're going to replace the NRA" bullshit? You know, now you want to throw mud on my name, and you know what? I'm kind of ignorant in a sense. I'm born and raised in the Bronx during the 70s and the 80s. And when you get punched in the mouth being disrespectful towards people, so I'm still kind of ignorant like that. So I told Phil, I was like, yo, keep my name out your mouth, because if I hear you say some more shit, I'm gonna walk up on one of your NAGA meetings and slap the shit out of you in front of everybody.
Right. Yep. That's the way you do it in the Bronx, bro.
Right. And you know, and that was kind of the end of it. But then that's when he was having these closed door meetings, like, you're not allowed to talk to Sam Hayes. You're not allowed to talk to Sam Hayes. Don't even mention him around, and you know, and all this other kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he brought O and Tig on as the national training directors.
Yep.
And I had a metric shit ton of people in my Facebook Messenger, like, yo, who is Owen Tig? Like, and how? Like, I'm an NRA training counselor. How come he didn't ask me? And I was getting that shit for months.
Mm-hmm.
And when they would ask me, I would be like, yo, I never heard of this fucking Body by O guy. You know, first time I ever saw him was on Armed Black Movement, where he was carrying some motherfucker over his shoulder, like that scene from Tropic Thunder,
Right.
and trying to shoot us and shit, you know.
Right.
And then I told him, I said, I met Tig for the first time 4 months ago, and she had just gotten her basic system.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how he told her, you know, but they kind of catapulted each other.
Right.
know,
But they
Owen
also
Tig,
had a lot of following on social media.
Both of them did.
Yep.
Yeah.
well, if you think about it, what got Owen Tig their following on social media was their affiliation with NAGA.
Mm.
And what got NAGA's name out there was their affiliation with Owen Tig. Because if you think about it and you look back prior to that, On the Black Movement was the only page on Instagram that was really highlighting Black people's shootings.
Right.
Alex Ballard runs that page. And a lot of people will tell you the first time they ever saw O was on that page. And at the time, Tig had zero social media presence because she had only been an instructor for like 2 months, hadn't taught a class, and was still working at Quick Shop down on Buford Highway.
Yeah.
And I met Tig. I saw her on Alex's page, and I shot her a message and was like, "Yo, you know, I'm looking for a female instructor that I can help to develop because there's a market for women out here." And the first time I ever met Tig was at the Black Guns Matter event here, where Maj asked me to come and be his guest speaker.
Right.
And she was like, "Oh no, I got it all taken care of. You know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I'm going to take my NRA." All right, cool. Because I actually told her, I was like, "Let me help develop you as an instructor, and once a quarter, I'll pay for you to go to classes." I was going to send her to Range Masters. I was going to send her to go train with Craig Douglas. I was going to get her some private lessons with Claude Warner. Like my mentality was to develop her so that she has the skill set before she jump out here and start telling people she's an instructor.
Right.
He didn't want to
doing it the right way.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't do that. He started charging people $150 for a 2-hour defensive pistol class, in which he admitted to me he only gets to spend about 5 minutes with each person, and they shoot 20 rounds. Why are you telling people you're teaching them Why are you telling people you're teaching them how to use a handgun defensively, and you're only spending 5 minutes with them to shoot 20 rounds?
Yeah.
Damn.
That's
an outing.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
That's like Top Golf, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's like going to Top Golf and tell people you're ready for the PGA.
Right. You know.
Right.
So then, Phil. So Phil with the whole NAGA thing, he was really trying to find his piece with that and trying to make that the Black NRA. And he contacted Glock and asked them if they'd be willing to work with him. They told him, "Would you be willing to change the name? Because we don't like NAGA. It sounds too much like the word nigger." And he told them no.
Damn.
And he told them no. And they stopped taking his phone calls. And how do I know? And how do I know this? Because Afro, which is my organization at the time, was sponsored by Glock. We were getting free shit from them. We would get they were giving us shit to give away. I had direct line to their marketing director, which at the time was a brother named Anthony. I won't say his last name because he left there under circumstances where they had to pay him some money because there was some racism shit that went on at Glock.
Gotcha.
But he was telling me like, "Yo, how do I get this guy to stop calling me?" I was like, "You got to tell him you're not interested." He was like, "I told him that." He was like, "Every month I get about 15 phone calls and voicemails."
Damn.
And then when the NRA show was here, Philip cornered him at the Glock booth, and he was like, I was looking for you to come around because I knew that if you came around, this motherfucker would leave me alone." I was I'm sorry, but the organization started out, like I said, as a good idea, but he didn't have the 2A background knowledge or anything to really even understand how to put it together.
Yeah.
So he sold people on a pipe dream and started collecting money from them. And one of the things that O told me, because O and Tig were traveling all over the country teaching classes in the name of NAGA and never got paid any of it.
It's coming out of their own pocket, from what I heard.
And when O asked Philip, "Yo, you claim you got 30,000 members and you get $20 a month from or something like that, or 20? Where's that $600,000?" Philip told him, "That LLC is in my name. Don't worry about where that money is."
Yeah, he instantly became a millionaire. Instantly.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn. See, this is the stuff that when you try to explain to people to go look a little bit deeper than just joining up, the first thing they say to me is, "Well, what should I do?" And I said, "I just told you. Look a little deeper." And I get it all the time. When I approach somebody and I say, "Here's my card," they look at it and they say, "Are you associated with NAGA?" I'm like, "No, no." And then they hit me with
Yeah.
the other one, USCCA. Are you with no? And that's the
Yeah.
new buzzwords.
Mhm.
As you knew, and they said, "Well, what is?" I said, "I have not only keep up with the NRA, FBI, LFE. I went to Georgia Firearms Association. They don't want to hear that. They're looking for these buzzwords that are circulating within their little groups. That these two are like the pinnacle for black folks, and it's like you don't get it. I was here before they even knew that before they started saying yes to guns. These are the same people who used to vote no to guns,
And they still do.
Right. And if you and to your earlier question, like how do I determine who's who? I get people that ask me all the time, well, why should I train with you over such and such?
right?
My answer to them is you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
Mhm.
You have to ask me that question. If you haven't already figured that out before you came and asked me that question, I'm not who you need to train.
Mhm.
Right.
It's really just that simple. I'm way past and done, and this is gonna come off real arrogant, but I'm not explaining shit to nobody.
Mhm.
I'm not explaining to you who I am. I've been around here long enough for you to be able to ask and figure out if I'm legit. If you don't know the right people to be able to ask to determine if I'm legit, you don't know the right people.
Right. Yep.
Keep asking until you find somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things that Maj told me before he got to Atlanta, he was like, "Yo, I've been to 6 cities, and every time I told them I was coming to Atlanta, they all told me I need to link up with you."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then at the last minute, he got Alex Ballard from Armed Black Movement to travel with him as his quote unquote gun guy. So when we got and he cut my time on the presentation, I was like, all right, cool. So when we got there, he was like, yo, let me introduce you to my gun guy. And at the time, me and Alex hadn't met, but we'd been talking on the phone for about 6 to 7 months, and I was mentoring him.
Right.
So when we met, we dapped each other up, and Maj was like, you know him? I was like, yeah, I'm your gun guy's gun guy. I said, I'm the one he calls when he has questions.
Right.
So and Maj didn't like that. He didn't like that because he thought he was, he didn't like that. So that's what we thought. I started seeing a little animosity there. And then I created my hoodie that said "All Shots Matter" on it, and I put the white letters with the red joints on it. And Pig jumped in my DM like, "Yo, why you do that? Maj is gonna feel a certain kind of way." And And me being the Sam Hayes that I was at the time, I was like, "You fucking him? Like, why are you in my DM talking to me about this nigga? Like, what's
right.
about? Why is this even your business?"
Right.
And then I said the reality of it is that this is Run DMC's logo,
Right.
but you might not know that because you're over 26.
Right.
So it's just been a lot of bullshit and drama in the Black 2A shit, and I just got tired of it, man, because I just felt like every time I had to have a conversation with somebody, I felt like I was talking to an emotional female.
Right.
And quite honestly, if I'm not, I don't have any desire to talk to an emotional female that I'm not actually sleeping with.
Right.
And sometimes they get too emotional. I don't even want to fuck with them. So I'm damn sure not gonna do it when it comes to talking to some dude.
Right.
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 So with that last statement you made, I'm keying off what you're saying. When we look at it and boil it down, this is the thing that I have, and this is where a lot of folks take issues with me. The Second Amendment is the Second Amendment. When do we get a black one and a white one? All right. And when it comes down to it, and you go to court of law, they don't say, well, we're going to use this book against you because you're a black guy, and you're going to use this book against you because you're a white guy. It's all one Second Amendment.
Right.
But yet we splinter, and you and I, we know that because you see it not only at the range that we're all members at, but you also see it when you go to different ranges. The same thing that the guy that started it, Philip, his whole purpose was starting it originally because he was going to shots fired, and he didn't like the fact that he was the only black guy in the place, so he wanted to have a meetup to get other people of color to go there as well. All right, I got you. I understand you want to, be around folks that you feel comfortable with, but then when you start talking about the Second Amendment, any advancement or any reduction in the Second Amendment is done to everybody across the board. Just because you're black doesn't mean you can have a braced pistol anymore. You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
So when you
Yo,
keep
hold
making
on
the
real quick.
separation,
Hold on real quick.
do your thing, man. You on scene, not us.
Yeah, bagging the groceries. Yeah, but yeah, that was some heavy duty stuff there, man. He covered.
Yeah,
I know
and
you
a
guys
lot.
listen to this content, and it's a lot of you guys first time ever hearing this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been knowing about this stuff for years. And
Mm-hmm.
since we got a platform, we wanted to put it out there and let these people see and hear what actually happened.
Yep.
And the stuff he's saying is not lies, because me and Al, we researched what he's saying. He's saying exactly to the T what had happened about each of those personnels, each of those instructors, and also with the NAGA group. And it's ridiculous because we get hit up all the time that why we not members of the NAGA group, and we just look at them like they're crazy.
Right, because when we start telling this stuff like this, we didn't have firsthand knowledge, so we're repeating stuff. And I'm not, you know, talking to a guy like Sam is getting it from the horse's mouth. But then when you talk to some other folks and you relay that again, and you know, I'm not gonna say, well, Sam told me. I'm just saying I say it the way he just said it. So, well, this is what's going on now. How do you know that? Now you want to know my sources, and I don't want to go down there because now I'm dragging more people into this
Yeah.
BS. And for what end? What end am I going to get it? So you leave it alone. But when you hear something like this, you have to go and research. You have to go and type in the information on a website or talk to other people who may have been there, see the names that he said, and ask them directly. Hey, what do you think about this? Whatever happened with that? Why were you put there and you didn't have credentials? Why? Whatever you're going to pose your question.
And the biggest issue is just if you're a NAGA member, ask yourself, why is NAGA not doing anything to fight against these gun control bills? They haven't did one thing, except old boy went up to Capitol Hill to talk, and he basically didn't even put up a good fight.
Nope. And then the one time that he made the comment, he had to come back and retract it because he made a mistake, and that's okay. But he said the constitutional carry here in Georgia. He said that he wasn't for it. He wanted what he meant was he wanted more people to have training. But he did not know how to. He didn't phrase it properly to say he wanted the government to force people to have training. That's what he. Right. That's what he wanted.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why that's his position and why he's incapable of presenting these arguments in a cogent, cohesive way. Because he's from California. He didn't own a gun. He didn't own a gun until he got here. He didn't own a gun until he decided to start NAGA.
Told you, Al.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He didn't own a gun, and his first gun was a shotgun. And to your point, about him going out there to wherever that fucking place is out in Covington, he told me like, yeah, I started because the way he contacted me was through Meetup. NAGA was just a Meetup group,
right? See?
And that's how he found me, because he saw me on television and shit and Googled me and all this other shit. So he told me, he said, yo, I started NAGA just because I got tired of going to the range and not seeing other people that look like me. And I said to him, nigga, you in Atlanta. How the fuck you go anywhere and don't see black people? Right. Like I've never been to a range and not seen black people.
Right.
But then I don't go to ranges. Out in Covington because it's too far from where I live. So when he told me where he lived, I was like, okay, that makes sense. You're not going to the right fucking range. Like you come into the city and you go out to that spot out in goddamn out in 78 in Stone Mountain. You might have to duck walking in there, but you're gonna see a whole bunch of black people in there. You go to Norcross Gun Club and Range, you're gonna see a whole bunch of black people in there. You go to Stoddard, you go in Midtown, you're gonna see a whole bunch of black. Like there's plenty of ranges where you can see black people. You just don't know where they are because you don't know shit about the gun.
Right. Yep.
But now you started this group and found that people will actually listen to you because you know 5 minutes more of information than they do.
Yes.
So now it's the blind leading the blind all the way up to the point where you convince them to give you $30 a year after you done created this email list. And the crazy part is that I told him, I said, yo, if your claim that you have 30,000 people on your email list is real, you don't even know what the fuck to do with that, because you got 30,000 black people's emails. There's not a gun company out here that won't give you $15,000 for access to that fucking email list.
Right.
Yeah.
Because everybody in their mother.
I still think he started the group to make money, and I still think he's anti-gun. I don't think he's pro-guns. I don't think he's pro-Second Amendment. I think he's full of it, and because the way his actions are, and the only reason he's trying to be pro-Second Amendment, because he know when he says something wrong, the heat comes his way, and it makes people start to question him and look at his organization in a different light. He don't like that.
Well, he's a corporate HR manager. His day job, he works in corporate HR, so he understands when you say something fucked up, how quickly you have to retract that. You know, so yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. You know, but again, you know how our community is. Like we're attracted to shiny new pennies. That's why you got pimps in the pulpit in these black churches that are millionaires, but you got people in their congregations that can't pay their bills. NAGA's the same thing. NAGA's the exact same thing. Right. You know, he's the new pimp in the pulpit, and you got a bunch of people following him because nobody else is bothered to do anything to show them anything else. And you know, when people ask me about NAGA, I just ask them one simple question without going through the gymnastics. When you join, what do you get?
Yeah, right. A card.
Yep.
They get a card.
Yo,
you're a member now.
For 2 years, there was no card.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
For the first 2 years, you got a PDF of a card.
Well, yeah, right. It's almost like NAGA is Tinder with guns. That's basically what it is. It's a hookup spot. Right. It's still a hookup spot. So yeah, men and women can meet, and at a certain spot, then they go to dinner after, and you know, next thing you know, they got a connection. That's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? And I'm not even so much against that. My thing is just tell the people what you about.
Right.
Stop sitting up here talking about you a black 2A organization when you're not.
No, right. And when you tell people that you're going to be the black NRA, you're way far from that, because you know how long it took for them, the NRA, to be where they are. They started out as a group just to make other people better at marksmanship. And then they morphed into what we see today. It wasn't just, let's do this tonight.
Right. You know, and like if you want to be a black social club where people get together and have a common interest in guns, I got no fucking problem with it. If you want to charge people $30 a month for that and they want to pay it, I got no problem with that. But stop lying to people and tell them that you're wholly committed to the advancement of the Second Amendment in the black community. But yet you don't have not one resource that teaches your members the legality of using lethal force for self-defense and how to handle that should you have to encounter the police afterwards.
Right. He don't even offer classes or anything, seminars, nothing.
Right.
For
but
that.
they have.
He doesn't have anybody in his organization qualified to do that. They just came out with their instructor development program, and again, not throwing no names out there. The folks that they hired to do the instructor development program are two people that I introduced to one another because one of them considers me a mentor and the other one has been in the industry for a very long time. They're two very, very competent people. And Philip dropped a nice coin on them to develop that program. And when I say a nice coin, I mean a nice coin to develop that program. And you know, and again, I don't have a problem with that, but you're not doing anything with it now. What does it mean? What does it mean to be a NAGA certified instructor when you don't have any NAGA certified curriculums? What are you instructing them?
Bro, I'm looking at their website right now, and everything is coming soon. You can't be an instructor without curriculum. Right. RSO is coming July of 2023. Women's Supplemental Module coming 2023. training counselor 2023, marksmanship course for pistol, shotgun, and rifle 2024, marksmanship qualifier certification 2024, shotgun course 2024, rifle course 2025. Bro, just listening to what you said, I'm telling you, I can write these programs up right now with competent and capable qualifications at the end of it, and it won't take a whole year development to get this done.
Oh, it's taking a whole year to develop these courses?
Dude, did you hear me? That's what the
2024.
2024, the rifle course, defensive
already
pistol 1 and 2, 2025, pistol and shot and self-defense 2025, home
But you know what he's gonna
security
do, though.
defense course 2026. Come on,
He's
man.
going to steal the curriculum from one of the other organizations that already got it wrote.
No, Sam just said he paid some people who were
Yeah,
somewhat
it's-
competent to go ahead and
to write
to write the courses.
Right.
Right. And you know, and these and the people that he uses to write his courses, I mean, they're using the NRA as its foundation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's there.
Most of us
Yeah.
do.
Everybody uses
Because
NRA
as far as a civilian course and you're trying to defend it, you have to have something that's already had a basis that's already been tried. You know, like I know, Sam, there's dudes that say they're NRA instructors. You see them shooting, you go, "You are what?" And it
Right.
once you get it, you got it. Once you pass it, it's yours. All you gotta do is
Mhm.
keep your dues up.
Right. The NRA is the only organization putting out material right now that's been proven to be court defensible in all 50 states.
Right. There you go.
All these people running around with USCCA shirts on and all this kind of shit don't realize those USCCA curriculum and their certification process for instructors are deplorable,
Mhm.
fucking deplorable. I will tell you that there's a girl down in Florida and I forget her name, Marie something, light skinned chick, real small, skinny, got a long ass face, like Beta Ray Bill from the Thor comic book. But she called me, she hit me up on Facebook and was like, "Yo, I'm getting ready to go take my NRA basic pistol course next weekend, but I'm having problems." And I was like, "Well, let me see your target." And she showed me a target, and I was like, "Well, what kind of 12 gauge are you using?"
Wow.
She was like, "What do you mean?" I was like,
Wow.
"The fucking grouping
You
is
said
all over the
pistol.
place. So you had to have shot this target with a 12 gauge shotgun, right?"
Damn.
Oh my
You know.
God. That's funny.
So she was like, "No." So I asked her her background. She told me, you know, she was in the Army. I was like, "Okay, but what's your background?" Because I know that if you're in the Army, the only handgun work that you're going to get is if you're Cav Scout, military police, or some kind of special operation.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You got to be in a combat arms MOS to even touch a handgun for the most part.
Right.
And she wasn't. So I said, my recommendation to you is to take the next year, go
Okay.
train with these people, and then try this again. No, I can't do that. I already paid my money. All right, cool.
Wow.
2 weeks later, she hits me back.
She
The
failed.
guy, the training counselor, had some integrity, and he failed her.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks later, she makes an announcement on her page that she's now a USCCA instructor.
And they passed her. Mm-hmm.
What was that, the correspondence class?
Yeah.
6 months later, she's a USCCA training counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Right.
Still can't shoot.
Right. You remember
the
Kim's karate?
Director by the end of the year.
You remember Kim's karate? You could be a black belt within a year if you paid all the
Right.
fees for your belts.
Mm-hmm.
Still get your
I
ass
got a
kicked by another
screenshot.
karate guy.
I've got a screenshot of somebody asking me what I thought of USCCA, and I tagged them. I said USCCA is probably the worst thing that's happened to the black community since the black church and the transatlantic slave trade, and I blame it all on pigs.
Damn.
Oh my
Damn.
Good Lord.
That was rough, bro.
Oh.
It gets better because then I've got another screenshot of USCCA DMing me. Hey, what do you think is wrong with our curriculum?
Oh wow.
And my long ass response telling them, I personally know 5 people right now that you guys have made training counselors and instructors who don't know the muzzle from their ass,
Right.
and you guys have got them running around. I said the reality is that I recognize that you're just an insurance company who's using training classes to boost your insurance sales, but you're lying to people and telling them that you're teaching them self-defense.
Right.
And you don't really give a shit about that, because the more instructors you have out there, the more people who are holding your classes that you're bringing into to hear your insurance presentation. I said, so when you ask me what's wrong with the USPCA, you guys are fucking crooks. That's what's wrong with you. Then you see that little message at the bottom of the screen. You can no longer reply to this conversation.
They blocked you. That's funny.
And this is what happens when you boldly speak the truth, and that's what happens because you get blocked. And trust me, I think everyone that you mentioned earlier has today on this show so far has blocked me, and I didn't do anything but offer sound advice. The little guy from Texas, I said to him, he posted something, and I explained to him that there is no such thing as protect and serve anymore for law enforcement in the United States. They have no obligation. Police have no obligation to the individual citizen. The next morning, I woke up. This back in them days when we were, you looking forward to it. I'm blocked, and I sent to his big brother. I sent the big brother, the old brother. I said, hey man. I posted something on Instagram that was dedicated directly to that dude. It's the little comedy skit with Kevin Hart when he was in 40-Year-Old Virgin, where it's like, oh, since you're using such big words, I'm gonna have to take that as offensive. And I had little little tactical little guy on there, and he got offended. So O asked me what's going on, and I said, "Yo, this is your man." He said, "Well, can't people change? You corrected him." I said, "Yo, the dude blocked me, man. This is my response to being blocked." And he said, "Oh, I thought you were a bigger person than that." I said, "No, I'm big in stature, but not in my inside is not that big. No, I'm still mature." So he get me, I got him.
Right. Yo, it's crazy because Carl posted something about executive protection.
Oh,
and I have an extensive executive protection background, fully vetted by the Diplomatic Security Service, Department of State, fully vetted by the Secret Service, and worked on executive protection details for William F. de Klerk, Nelson Mandela, Tipper Gore, Hillary Clinton. Like, no, but you can't tell me I don't know executive protection.
right.
So I said something to Carl on one of his posts and about executive protection, and he jumped in my DM and was like, "Yo, I appreciate what you said. Wanted to know if you would be willing to mentor me and I could maybe learn from you." I was like, "Absolutely, but before you do, there's a couple of things that I would need for you to do." He was like, "What?" I would need for you to stop embellishing your background and twisting words to make it sound like you did more than you really did, and just embrace what you know and understand that, that being a good instructor is to be a lifelong student. It's something that never stops."
Right.
He was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Well, the shit that you say on there, you talk about how you did this, you were part of the Secret Service detail. You were a motorcade officer on it. You stopped traffic as the fucking car was coming through the main street. Like that kind of shit. Don't tell people you were on the Secret Service detail for the president when you were really just a motorcade officer.
Mm-hmm.
Say that, and then you work, because you're going to work your way up to being closer to the principal at some point."
Mm-hmm. Right.
So he said that. So I said that to him, and then I said, and I know a little bit about the military. You got out there that you was a combat engineer. A lot of people don't know what that is. They like, "Oh shit, engineer in combat." No, nigga, you building the tents that the war fighters are really fighting in. You going out there making sure the porta potties and shit dumped every day. You're the Army maintenance man.
Yeah.
You're the Army maintenance man. Stop telling people that you're a combat engineer, air assault qualified, like you was SF.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I know some SF dudes that'll call you on that shit and go through your test.
Mm-hmm.
And they probably live out there where you live.
Yeah.
And he didn't like that. So to Al's point, I woke up the next day, fucking blocked.
Mm.
You know,
Yep.
but
He's
me being
like a
petty,
midnight blocker too. He waits till like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning to block you.
So when you wake up,
right?
Yep.
yeah,
But me being the petty ass dude that I am, I went and DM'd him on one of my other pages. It was like, yo, that was a dick move. Now,
right, right,
that was a dick move. Now I know who you are.
right.
Right.
You know.
That's funny.
Hey Sam, man, we really
So
appreciate it. We're gonna wrap it up, but we got to have you back on, man. We got to do a follow up where we get
anytime,
you.
bro, anytime. You know, I'm getting remotivated to start putting out some more content and shit like that because
Right.
you know, having conversations with my people, they said that the only way that we can really combat what's going on in the 2A community right now is just to focus putting out really good, high quality information and don't even worry about what the rest of them are doing because people will eventually figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
People will see the good quality content and then they'll go to Tactical Carl's page and be like, that don't look right.
You know, I understand
Yeah.
what you're saying, but it's not working. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's
It's
not
hard.
enough of us doing it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
There's not enough. There's not
Because
enough
you know,
of us doing it.
for just
It's-
be, you know, I know I said we're wrapping up, but you know, one of the things that I saw a mutual friend and somebody that actually said got the ball rolling between me and you, Sam, was Coach Glue, Carlos. Carlos was like, man, you know, you two are the same motherfuckers that but on opposite ends of the spectrum. And I'm like, what? He said he's just like you, Al. And I was like, get out of here. He said, give him. We were going back and forth. There was something you two were working on, and he's like, "Man, every time I talk to him, I feel like I'm talking to you." So I said, "All right." And then he tied us in, and your boy from Philly you guys were going around doing stuff, and I said something about his socks, and then you liked the post, and I said, you said something like I said the same thing. I said something about his socks. You remember he had those multicolored socks on when you get wherever you guys went, and you were traveling and doing your training. And I said something about his socks, and then you said, "Yeah." I told him the same thing, and I'm like, "Okay, well, maybe we are two assholes in a pod." So, but that people like that, and Coach Glue has always had positive content, no matter what people say. He's been through a bunch of stuff, he up and down, all that good stuff, but he's always been positive and trying to educate people. He's never put out stuff that's like, "Why would you do that?" He try to correct things with a very diplomatic hand, not calling people out. If somebody did something wrong, he did a video showing the right way of doing it. This is for the gram. This is what you should do in reality. And again, that's back to my partner saying, it doesn't help because he'll get a few people paying attention, and I'm gonna use what you just said. I guess the people in the tribe paid attention. I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna use the positive flip. People in the tribe paid attention. You're right.
Coach Blue's video on shooting behind cover is hands
That's
down.
what I'm talking about. Yes, exactly.
But I mean, that video has gone viral several times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so just because people may not be talking about it, they see the shit and they've made changes in the way that they do the shit. Even and it was even an audit for me watching the video. I was like, you know what? He's right, and I know that. Why the fuck am I doing it this way?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the people who need to get it will get it. What I will tell you, brothers, is keep doing what you're doing. Put the positive information out there. The people who get it, get it. The ones who don't, fuck them. They're not your tribe.
Right.
Yep.
They're not even worthy of your. They're not even worthy of your emotional and mental bandwidth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Period.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
And
thank you for that, man.
Because at the end of the day, this shit is about longevity. Because we see these dudes pop up in Atlanta every fucking couple of weeks or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you look for them 3 months later, they're nowhere to be found.
Yeah. Fly by night instructors.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Right. They don't have any longevity. They don't have any longevity in the game because they don't know enough to stay alive.
Right.
So just keep doing what y'all doing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck around. I'm gonna fuck around and get me one of these Jim Fuller AKs and come out there with y'all and play with y'all. Let y'all teach me how to run an AK, yo. Because I tell everybody, I'm like, yo, check these brothers out if you really serious about running AK. Because I tell motherfuckers all the time, there's nobody in Atlanta right now who you can fuck with on an AK that knows more about the shit than you guys.
Yeah.
The two of y'all and Omar, y'all out there with the AK. Cause I tell people all the time, like, yo, if you want to learn AK, go to them.
Yeah. Appreciate you, man.
Go to them.
We stay busy. We keep going at it, and we like you said earlier, students of the gun. We learn and we adapt on a regular basis.
Yo, just by virtue of the diversity that I see in your clientele, you're doing it better. You're doing it better than the rest of these motherfuckers. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, we've been at this a long time. So
Yep. And we're gonna stay at it.
2011 when the company started. So
Yeah. So I mean,
I picked up my first legal gun in 1986.
the legal guns here.
Yeah.
You heard what I said?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I caught him.
Yeah.
I caught it. He's from where I'm from. He's from where I'm from. So we already
Exactly.
know. We already
Thank you,
know
Sam.
Right. We already
There's a
know
distinction.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, brothers. I
All right.
appreciate you having me on. Anytime you need me, I'm here. We
Yeah.
set it up, we do it, and it is what it is.
All right.
Absolutely,
Appreciate you,
man.
man, for coming
Thanks,
on.
Scott. Thanks you.
All right.
All right, man.
All right. Bye.
Thanks. Take care.
All right, guys. That was a hell of a show. A
Yeah.
lot of enlightenment that happened and a lot of things he said. I mean, woo. That was deep.
Yeah.
That was deep.
Get your tribes together because we got ours.
Right.
Yeah,
And
we welcome all those that want to be part of our tribe. I like
and
that.
there's a lot more can of worms we want to open up too. So hang
Stay
on to your
tuned.
seats because
That's
it's
it.
coming. And I want to tell you guys, we're on 3 different platforms tonight. Please like the freaking platform, the show. A lot of you guys are watching and not liking. I've just been checking the numbers. Like the show. The show is on Rumble. The show is on YouTube. The show is on Twitch. Twitch, I'm just throwing it up there just to be doing it because I edit the show off there
Right.
after I make my
Right.
highlights.
It's
easier
an
than-
easy way, right?
Yeah.
Right. But we
So I
get
don't
a
have
lot
to
of
use my
weirdos on there.
software program, but there's a lot of weirdos on Twitch.
Mhm.
And so with that, like I said, like, share, and
High Speed 83. Thank you for participating earlier tonight. I just want to give a quick shout
okay,
out.
yeah, High Speed
Omar.
83. There
Yep,
you go.
Omar and
let me give you guys your
we
shout
did
out.
a night shoot tonight.
Yeah, and Omar, yeah, I said thank you, Sam.
Yep.
Let's see who else is on here.
Sir
that's about it.
Leviticus, he started off good and you ended with some Epstein
Yeah,
stuff. But
yeah.
he started off good.
Yeah, I think he's in another country.
And that could be. That it was Twitch, so
yeah. So
WK, appreciate you as
Yeah.
always.
yeah, WK. I'll give you a call later on.
Yeah.
And but you guys just hang on to your seats, man. We're trying
gonna
some new
dig it.
stuff.
Mhm.
And we're getting ready to shake up the tree, man. We're tired of this stuff that's going down.
The status
So
quo.
yeah. And you got anything, Al?
Yeah, man, I appreciate you for keeping us flowing.
All right, my man. We'll
All
see you
right.
guys in the range, people.
See you guys.